Donald Trump asked to testify to Senate committee under oath about Russia ties, and James Comey. Senators have invited Donald Trump to testify under oath after he said he would be 100% willing to answer questions on the Russia investigation and the supposed tapes of his conversation with former FBI Director James Comey. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer told CBS that he wanted to invite Mr. Trump to testify before the Senate. "I think we could work out a way it could be dignified, public, with questions, with Leader McConnell." He added he would have to consult with prosecutor Robert Mueller, who is investigating alleged ties between Russia, interference in the election, and Mr. Trump's campaign. Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein and Republican Senator Susan Collins, who sit on the Intelligence Committee, backed up Mr. Schumer's call for the president to testify. Mr. Mueller's probe has now widened into why Mr. Trump fired former FBI Director Comey, and whether, as per Mr. Comey's testimony, the president pressured him to stop investigating former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. Mr. Flynn was forced to resign after he misled Vice President Mike Pence about his communication with the Russian ambassador. Mr. Trump told journalists last week he would testify, and when asked about the tapes of his private conversation with Mr. Comey, he said he would provide the answer within a fairly short period of time. "Oh, you're going to be very disappointed when you hear the answer. Don't you worry," he said. Mr. Trump's defense lawyer Jay Sekulow acknowledged that the president had agreed to be questioned under oath, but he refused to rule out whether Mr. Mueller would also be fired in the future. "The president is going to seek the advice of his counsel and inside the government as well as outside," Mr. Sekulow told ABC News. "I am not going to speculate on what he'll or will not do." Mr. Mueller was FBI director while Mr. Comey was Deputy Attorney General until 2013, when Mr. Comey replaced him as head of the intelligence agency. Mr. Comey denied submitting his testimony last week to Mr. Mueller to review before reading it at the Senate. Mr. Comey was dismissed by the president last month via a letter delivered by a bodyguard to the FBI headquarters. During his testimony last week, Mr. Comey did not say he had been dismissed due to his involvement in the Russia investigation. He said the president had lied and the FBI was in disarray, and that Mr. Trump wanted assurances he would be loyal and that he himself was not under investigation. Mr. Comey also confirmed he had his friend leak a series of memos he had written about his relationship with the president to the press. Mr. Trump responded on Twitter, "I believe that James Comey leaks will be far more prevalent than anyone ever thought possible. Totally illegal. Very cowardly.